Al, it's time to get mysterious.
Ooh.
Mystery.
Mystery.
Ooh. That's the sound a mystery makes.
Yep, I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Ooh.
Ooh. That's also a sound a ghost makes.
Spooky. Yeah, we're going to talk about a mystery show this week. That's what we're talking about. Here on this week's episode of the Season Anime Checkup OVA, it's a podcast where we have conversations about video games, anime, and manga. Hello, I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Lady
Hello.
This is episode number 448, and we're going to talk about Shoshimin. It's a series of novels. And
It is a series of novels. And an anime based off of a series of novels written by somebody that we know. Not know personally.
Yeah, we know
know
personally, of course.
We know of.
Yes, these are written by Honobo Yonezawa. They, of course, wrote a little series called Hyoka.
Hyoka, which we are a big fan of.
Yes, and this was the series he wrote, or he started, I guess, before Hyoka, but it's still ongoing, just like Hyoka is. And it got an anime adaptation last year, and then the second season came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you know how long ago we watched Hyoka? It had to have been ages ago.
Oh, jeez. I think we talked about it at some point.
I'm sure we did.
Nope, that's the wrong link.
My mama got me Hyoka for Christmas one year or my birthday one year. I don't remember. It was kind of impressive because Hyoka is not an easy name to remember.
Well, of course, okay, we watched the anime on an episode number 44, which was October of 2017.
Wow.
And then, of course, we also watched on episode number 154 the live action adaptation.
Right,
which was back in November of 2019.
With the spinny.
Which was a very strange adaptation of Hyoka, for sure.
The spinning
cameras and just like, we got a horror director to do this. It's very bizarre.
I forgot the horror shots.
Yeah.
October 2017. Wow, that was a bad month. I'm surprised we got anything done that month.
Oops. I mean, What else were we doing in October of 2017, you might be asking? Well, in terms of the podcast. Okay.
I was like, I don't think you want me to say that. But...
No. In terms of the podcast. Just try to figure out what else was going on here. Okay.
Try easy stuff.
The following... Okay, here's the final week of October was 5 centimeters per second. Okay. The film. The week before that was a grab bag where we talked about Layton's Mystery Journal, Blue Reflection, Pyre, and Bad Apple Wars.
Wow.
Back when we put Otome games in grab bags.
I don't know how we would do that.
Hyoka in the middle of the month. And then to kick off October, of course, we talked about Danganronpa V3.
No! October was a bad month.
So there you go.
Wow.
A little look into the past.
Okay.
8 years ago.
Wow. Bonkers.
But yeah, Shoshimin, it's fun. It's a fun little mystery series.
It is fun.
I guess we never talked about season 1. It's good. You should watch it.
Mm-hmm. If you like Hyoka, you're going to be into this, I think, but it is a bit different.
Yeah, it's not necessarily as like super focused in on a character like being the detective as necessarily Hyoka is. Like, there's still some of that here. It's just a little bit kind of more subdued, I would say. And a lot more of like the mysteries are slow burns throughout the entirety of the season rather than just kind of like little story arcs here and there.
Yes.
And then, of course, like, you should probably watch season 1 because it definitely just leads right into season 2, of course.
Yes.
Season 1 was based off of the first 2 books that were written. Season 1. Season 2 was based off of books 3, 4, and 5. And then there is a 6th book out that was released last year.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
which has not been adapted, of course.
Of
But yeah.
course.
I figure we'll just talk about season 2 because, season 1 was last year, and that was like 7,000 years ago.
Yeah, I remember last year.
But it is it's a good first season, a good introduction to all the characters. The mysteries are fun and interesting, and of course leads you off on a cliffhanger heading into season 2.
Also, one thing that should be mentioned is that the animators really like to flex.
Yes.
They do like really cool stuff where they like have the characters basically like I don't want to say warp because that's not the right phrasing, but like they'll be sitting in a regular room or whatever, and they're like, what if we just put them at like a riverbed and they're talking and Kate Bush's red face first into a chair.
That sounds about right. I mean, hey, it ain't a podcast unless a kitty somehow gives
Gets a
themselves a
concussion.
concussion because they're very
But
smart.
they'll put them on like a bridge or whatever and do like really beautiful like sunsets and things like that. Like they really really flex, and I think it's just like to make these conversations have like more emotional impact than just like two people sitting in a room talking at each other.
It's almost as if if it was a like live action series, it's like they're like green screening them into like different locations in a
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. And like it's very clear based on like credits and stuff that like these are based off real locations, which it was the same with Hyoka that they based it off real
Yeah.
locations.
Um.
They have like actual pictures of these things and they're like, here are the characters on top of these.
Yeah, it's like FM like real video essentially.
Yeah, yeah, it's super, super
Mm-hmm.
cool. And the eyes are pretty.
And I would also go as well as like to kind of piggyback off that. Like, there's a lot of the cinematography in this series is just incredibly well done. Um, just a lot of really good shots, like like you said, the conversation stuff, but like just within the series itself, especially when you get into like the deeper into the mysteries and everything, they really are able to like showcase the complexities of what's happening in some really fun and unique ways.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, season 2 came out earlier this year, ran from April to June, and was some interesting mysteries we found throughout this. Split in between like the books 3 and 4, I think are basically similar, at least from the titles. I haven't read any of the books yet. I don't know if you have or not.
I went back and read this book after we finished the season.
Not Hone. So yeah, it's split up into that, and then the other book is the kind of the second half of the season essentially. So you get two different mysteries scattered throughout, and season 2, of course, is coming off of the cliffhanger of the first season, which we see Osanai and Koboto basically splitting off from each other,
Hmm.
which was an interesting way to end that first season, to be like, wait, what are they going to do when these characters are kind of like away from each other now? Like, how is that going to, and like, they're like, oh, we're doing a second season of this. So like, what are we doing here? Like, how is this show going to operate with them two not being together?
Right, because they kind of like play off of each other the whole
Yeah.
first season. So you're like, oh, how does this dynamic change with them being separated?
Mm-hmm.
And it does, it changes, but
Yes.
it works out.
Because basically you kind of have like split scenes of just like them doing their own thing with their new significant others and everything. And of course, a lot of the first half of the season revolves around Osanai's new boyfriend, who's on the
Hmm.
newspaper club, and it starts investigating this series of arsons that is popping up, and kind of like becoming more and more obsessed with the story, and trying to uncover the mystery of it, find the culprit, and all that sort of stuff. And basically, throughout the story arc, just like gets continually way in over its head, to the point where it's like everything just falls apart for him by the end of it,
Hmm.
and it's it's messy.
Um, Ozanai is also like she's always been a bit like sassy, I suppose,
Yes.
but she is brutal in this season. Like she just destroys this kid's self-esteem at one point. I was like, "Oh, damn, kid, what are you doing?" But it was also kind of satisfying, so there's that.
She's very strategic in what she does.
She is, yes, 100%.
She's always got like she's got everything planned out 5 moves ahead, and does that to benefit herself in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's interesting to see how this all plays out. We
Also
were
not afraid to come across as a little bit unhinged as well.
Yes, we figured out basically who the culprit was pretty early on within
Yes, we
this,
did. We did.
which ends up being the boyfriend's friend, who keeps like kind of like egging him on and like being like, oh, you should keep doing this and everything, which is like,
But then it's also like, oh man, I have to go to three different cram schools. I
yeah.
can't help you out
It's
on
like,
anything. And we're like,
what?
what? No way. That sounds fake.
That's not how this works.
But getting to the conclusion of that is actually very good.
Yeah,
Like that playground scene with the two of them, like putting it all together is incredible.
yeah. um but yeah, the boyfriend just keeps doing all this because it's like, she's like, oh, I like people who have like drive and motivation and everything. You should keep doing this. He's like, yay, I'll do this. Yay, I'm so happy. And just goes completely overboard in like a sense where like the school wants to shut down the newspaper. They're just like getting in trouble for like the way they are reporting on this and everything. It's very much kind of like, I know like in a sense he is part of a newspaper club, but feels very like citizen journalisty
It totally
in the way
does.
that he is going about this, and like trying to figure this whole thing out, and thinking that like he's gonna be the one that solves this whole thing, and then just like
Mhm.
doesn't in the slightest.
Yeah, he's just trying to be a hero and fails
And it blows
miserably.
up in his face. And yeah, you get to that end scene in the playground where like she just blows up on him, and like not necessarily blows up on him, just like kind of unveils like every part that she has played in this, and like how she's kind of manipulated things as well, and like showcases like how many parts of this whole thing he's gotten wrong.
hmm
And he's just like,
Because he suspects her.
yes. And she's like, no,
No.
no,
Nope.
nah,
Mm-mm.
you fool. It's
You
like
you buffoon.
it's like one of those scenes where like a character just getting everything thrown back at them, and it's like a bunch of arrows with like the words say of what they're getting wrong, just stabbing him in the chest
Yep.
repeatedly.
Yep.
She just brutalizes this poor kid. He's just like,
I mean, absolutely destroys his self-esteem.
yeah.
And then it turns out that she did it because he tried to kiss her without permission.
Yep. He's like,
I was
nah,
like, hell
don't want
yeah.
that.
Good for her, honestly. She's like ruined that man's entire year and also probably his self-esteem for ages because he tried to kiss her.
Mm-hmm. And then
She's my hero.
Jogoro just like shows up like in there as well. It's like, hey, you want to have a conversation about this, and let's unveil actually what happened.
Yep. She's like, do you suspect me too?
Like, eh.
Eh.
It's just very funny how like the whole first half of the season like is building up that they're apart and like not working together in the slightest, but by the end of it you realize, oh, they basically kind of were.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of like reunite, because he has that girlfriend that like he just like gets with because she asked him out, and then eventually finds out that like she's cheating on him, and he's just like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I don't care.
And then she breaks up with him because she's like, why didn't you get mad about that? And he's like, I don't care.
And she's like, why did you even say yes? He's like, cause
Eh.
you asked me.
Eh.
He's like, so it's not anything to do with me, really. And he's like, eh.
Eh.
So she gets real mad at him. It's like,
Yeah.
this is why I don't like you. Eh.
And he's just like, again, just like, eh.
Eh. He does not care.
No. But yeah, they have the whole conversation breaking down exactly the whole gist of everything that went down, and like here's like all the facts and everything. And then they're like, all right, you want to just keep doing this thing again? Like, yeah. It's like, all right. And then we get into the second half of the season, which is Jokero just gets run over by a van, and then he's in the hospital for the rest of the season, and we got to figure out what happened.
So
And
this is the book that I read.
yes. And a lot of this as well is parallel because like he had a similar situation when he was younger, and basically kind of did the similar thing as what the boyfriend did in the first half of the season, just like, thought he could solve this whole case and was going to be the hero and everything, and things went very badly with regards to how he went about this. And I think it's interesting that like we get to see the catalyst for how he is in the very beginning of the series, where he's just like, I don't want to do any of this sort of stuff. I just want to live a relatively normal life. Hence the name of the show and everything.
I don't want to solve anything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I don't want to investigate. This is not for me.
Yeah. Because he basically, he's younger when he does this mystery in the past that he's reminiscing about and everything, and kind of has this air of arrogance and confidence and kind of cockiness that like, oh, I can figure this out. I know how to do this, even though he's like 12 or something. I don't know how old he would be here.
He was third year in middle school, so he'd
13,
probably be
14?
about 13, 14.
Yeah. So again, very young, and you have this kind of feeling that like you're invincible and nothing bad can happen to you type of deal. And he goes about this, and this is where he meets Osanai as well, and that's where they kind of get their relationship and started off with that and everything. And
you also don't like understand the gravity of consequences as much then.
Right, exactly. That too. But like, yeah, he keeps going through and trying to solve this mystery, even though like he's told multiple times like, hey, don't do this, you should back off and everything. He's like, no, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna figure it out.
I'm so close to getting it.
And just like the further he gets to figuring it out, the more he just causes problems with other people and just unravels secrets that didn't need to be unraveled and everything. And basically just like ruins people's lives for the sake of solving this mystery.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's kind of stuck in the middle of like, I'm in a similar situation now, and what do I do type of deal. And just like reminiscing about that mystery kind of like is trying to help him figure out exactly what happened to him and everything. And it's interesting because like a lot of the action scenes, I guess you'd say, is kind of like shown through the past and all that. Whereas a lot of the present stuff is just like, it's him in the hospital room. Just like,
he has a broken leg and some broken ribs and stuff. He can't move.
Yeah, he's just kind of stuck there. He's like, jotting down notes of what he remembers and everything. He's exchanging messages with Osanai because like they don't get to meet with each other because anytime she shows up, he's out cold. And that's how they kind of relay messages to each other, and she's off kind of investigating as well, doing her own thing, but we don't really get to see that side of it because we're seeing it through his eyes essentially. And then there's also mysteries within the hospital of what's going on, and there's a whole just like unraveling of this whole thing that really goes in some interesting ways that I certainly wasn't expecting by the time we get to the end of it, for sure. Because he's told in the beginning that like the kid he was investigating and trying to help in the past had like committed suicide.
Yes.
Or allegedly committed suicide, I should say. They don't really know for sure. And that's what basically kind of jostles his memory essentially of like, this is that mystery and everything, and let me kind of go over the facts and everything of what happened and see if where I went wrong essentially and all that sort of stuff. Meanwhile, Osanai just like, I'm figuring things out on my end. Don't worry. Here's some chocolates.
Yay, chocolate. Eat one a day.
One a day, or I'll get mad.
More.
I'll bonk you. But yeah, he's just, he's doing his thing. He's going through physical therapy and all that sort of stuff. He has a nurse looking after him and just loves to drink water and sleep a lot. Which, like, in the beginning of this arc, of course, like, it makes sense that, like, you just went through a traumatic injury, or I guess a couple traumatic injuries. You're going to be sleeping a lot because your body needs rest to recuperate and all that sort of stuff. But, like, you start seeing through the calendar and, like, the clock on his room and everything, like, he's been in the hospital for a little bit of time, a week or two, and, like, we see that time progression and everything, but he keeps sleeping for these long extended periods of time, especially like from like for the afternoon to like the middle of the night kind of deal. And it's like one of those things where you look at it as the time progresses, like, this, something's wrong here, because like he shouldn't be doing this much sleeping when he's starting physical therapy and all that sort of stuff and been in the hospital for this long. Like, something's not right here.
I was so proud of myself that I figured this out.
You put on your sleuth cap and you're like, what if he's getting drugged?
And I was like, he's getting drugged. Somebody's drugging his water.
Yes.
Putting sleeping medication.
Which was the case.
Whoa!
He was getting drugged.
Drugged.
So he go sleepy. Honk Shua.
Must be nice.
Yeah. But yeah, he eventually remembers basically everything that happened through that past mystery and like how all that unraveled and like the mysterious girl the dude was with and all that sort of stuff. And that all comes to a head when he realizes that the mysterious girl that was with the dude that almost got ran over is his current nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all these like inconsistencies he remembers of, like, all these other doctors are coming in. They have name tags, of course, because they're working in a hospital and people in a hospital have name tags. Like that's just general procedure and everything.
Right. She like takes him the long way to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, because
So
she doesn't have
go by the nurse's
a name
station.
tag. She doesn't go by the nurse's station. She won't let him leave the hospital. And then he starts putting two and two together, like, this seems a little strange. I think this is something's wrong here. And also he gets like a message from Osanai at one point telling him to like water the flowers, and that's where
when I figured out the sleeping thing.
He starts to put two and two together, like, wait a minute. Wait
just a ding dong second.
And that all comes to a head at the end when like Osanai shows up in the middle of the night to like see him, and she's like, hey, you figure things out yet? And he's like, I think I figured things out. And they both realize that the nurse is like drugging him, and then because like she takes him to go to the bathroom and she goes by the nurse's station, and he's like, wait a minute, why would we go, this is a much shorter route, why wouldn't I have gone this way before? Hang on a second. And then like they return to the room, and like the nurse is there, and she's got like a hammer.
Yep.
And they're like, what the heck is happening here?
Ah! She was gonna bonk him on the leg.
Bonk him on the leg, and then also she gets pocket sanded.
She does get pocket sanded. I was so happy when that happened. I was like, oh my god, pocket sand. Hell yeah.
There's also a part where like I think it's when they're on the roof, or there's some point where like he asks Osanai like, hey, do you got a hammer with you? And she's like, why would I have a hammer on me? It was so funny.
To be fair, she did have a sledgehammer in the last arc.
Yeah, but like she's just like, why would I bring a hammer with me to a hospital? What are you talking about? But the nurse basically describes or explains that like she was the kind of a strange sister of the dude who got ran over in the mystery in the past, and like her and her brother were like trying to form a relationship, but like the parents were like having problems and everything, and like them being together would cause problems if the parents found out about it. And then once he started like poking his nose into like relationships and everything, that got found out and basically split the family even further, and there was no real hope for reconciliation and everything. And like that whole thing also drove the dude to try and commit suicide, and it's just like a whole mess of a thing. And he's just like, oh yeah, I kind of did do that. Ooh, that was bad. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna mess you up now for this, you're done for.
Also, I ran over you.
Yeah, also it was me who ran over you, you kind of deserved it. He's like, ooh.
A little extreme, but I see your point.
Yeah. Osanai's like, I'm gonna beat you up.
I love that she's so small and wants to fight everybody.
Yes. She's you.
Honestly, I feel that.
Big
I really
owl energy in her.
I really relate to her.
But yeah, she's about to like bonk them in the head with a hammer, and then the dude from the past mystery shows up who is alive and everything. He just got like I think he has like a cane because like his legs messed up because he like jumped out of a building, I think, or jumped off a roof or something.
I thought he jumped off a bridge.
He jumped off something to mess up.
He jumped off something.
To mess up one of his legs, so he has to walk with a cane and everything. And he's like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this. Do you want to go to jail for life? Like that seems bad. Maybe we should just stop here. Which in the meantime, like Osanai's already called the cops and like got them here, or like she's getting them on the way while this is all happening. So like the dude showing up makes her kind of like stop and realize like, oh, this is kind of messed up. I'm doing something dumb.
Yeah, this is not a good move for
Yeah.
me.
And she basically surrenders to the cops. And there's a good scene as well where like Jogaru and the dude like have a conversation. And he's kind of like, yeah, that was my bad for poking and prodding into your personal relationships, trying to figure out that mystery. Like I thought I was going to be this cool guy who figured out this mystery and everything. And now I realize like, wow, that was super messed up for me to do. And
Yep.
that's super my bad. I'm sorry, dude. And the guy's like, yeah, it was your bad, but also like, I'm not going to hold it against you. Like it's, the
We
past
were
is the
kids.
past. Yeah, we're kind of past that now. I saved you from not getting murdered. We're even.
My sister didn't murder you. You're welcome.
My sister didn't bonk you with a hammer. All right, see you later.
Bye. It's New Year's.
It is New Year's. And then he also like Joker also has the problem of being like he's been in the hospital for like weeks now, so like he's kind of like not going to be able to graduate high school now,
Yeah, he's like missing all the
which
exams and
sucks.
stuff. That sucks so bad. I'm wondering like if there's any kind of thing that he could do like a well, I was gonna say like a summer thing, but he can't because he missed the entrance exams.
Yeah, I don't know what you would do in that case. 'Cause obviously, like, there's going to be like schools would have to have like some sort of like
Contingency plan?
contingency plan, yeah, to like if someone gets into an accident and gets injured at like specific points in time in a school year, like what do you do?
What I would assume was going to happen, and I could be wrong, is that he would be able to like make it up through the summer and then have to take like a gap year so that he could then do entrance exams the year after.
Yeah, that would make sense. Because
That would be my assumption.
you wouldn't just like make him like, oh, you got to repeat the whole year.
Right. Like obviously he doesn't need to do that. I feel like they
No.
would like fast track him over the summer
Yeah.
and be like, "All right, you can graduate," but then he'd have to like because he does say he's going to take time to do the entrance exams.
Yeah, you can't just like they can't just basically like here's an entrance exam for you, and then we'll see if you get in a week before school starts type deal. I guess
Yeah,
I
that's
also
not
don't
how
know
it
if they
works.
do the thing in Japan of like where you could technically start in like winter instead of the summer.
Right, like a rolling
Yeah.
application type thing. I don't know.
But yeah,
But
it's one of those things that like you don't necessarily ever like really think of, but like it's a really weird situation for someone to have to be in, and like there's so many other factors that would have to be in place as well that you would have to have because these
mhm.
types of things aren't necessarily like a super rare thing. Like people are going to get into accidents and get injured and be out of like a school for an extended a period of time. So what do you do in those situations? Like what's the plan for that? So it was just, I think it was interesting to me just like see that brought up and like have that come to mind and like have to have like that or like just think of like the what would happen in that situation because I never really had that thought before really.
Mhm.
So I thought that was interesting. And then there's the whole thing at the end as well where like they technically split up again, but she's just like, yeah, I'm going to college, I'm not gonna sit around and wait, but if you want to come find me when you decide to go to college as well, like, I'll be around. You can
I'll
find
be
me.
in I think she says Kyoto.
I think so. And he's like, all right, that makes sense. That's fair.
The scene goes down a little bit differently in the book, which is interesting.
Oh.
Because there's a
I wonder if it's because like they needed like a wrap up for the anime.
maybe because there's a lot more romantic implications
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
in the book. Like they hint at it here, but like it's pretty blatant in the book.
I mean, there's a lot of hinting at it, I guess, throughout the entire series where like everyone thinks they're
Yes.
dating and they're just kind of like, eh.
Ugh. Um, but the thing that I think is so interesting about the way they handle it in the book is that it is a very like Osanai way of how she handles it.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's like, you know, I could do better than you.
Yeah. I think that's what she says in she says something similar in the anime, I feel like, as
Yeah, yeah,
well.
yeah, but she like goes into detail on this about like you're good now, and I think I could definitely do better, but like I think for now you'll do.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, God, girl. Um, and I mean, she does kind of like dunk on him a few times in the like quote unquote confession. But
Tracks.
he's like, yeah, you know what? You're right. You could do better than me, but you know, let's see where this goes. I was like, oh, that's kind of cute, I guess. Because I mean, like I feel like that's more realistic to be like these two have been like dancing around each other, I guess, for a few years at this point,
Right.
and like they realize like, hey, we do work well together, and you know that there's something going on, and you know we're not going to be in the same area for the next year or whatever, so you know whatever happens happens, but you know there are feelings.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm interested to see like what would come after this. I don't know. Did the translation place that is totally legal have the next book?
I don't know.
I'll have to check and see. I might still have it on my iPad. But I would be interested to see what happens after this.
Yeah, because like there's so many different ways you could go with it
Mm-hmm.
for sure. So be very curious to see exactly what they decide to do with this series.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
It good.
yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I feel like we kind of had a feeling we would, excuse me, both have a good time with this because like, you know, we like Tioka and everything. So going into this, it was like, oh, this is probably going to be something not necessarily similar, but like it's something also enjoyable. But I do like how it's not necessarily just the same as Hioka.
Right. It's not a like copy paste type scenario.
No, it's similar, but it is still pretty different. Which is good. I like that they're like we can have these two series that are kind of similar by the same author, but they do their own separate things essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Which is always good. But yeah, if you are a fan of the mysteries, if you like Hioka especially,
Mm-hmm.
this is a series you should definitely take a look at.
Yeah, definitely take a look. And like I said, it's really pretty. Also, the desserts all look incredible all the time.
That is also true.
Yeah, it's pretty unfair how good all the like snacks look. It almost made me try a Mont Blanc on Saturday, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't like chestnuts.
Mont Blanc.
Yeah, well, I saw one. I was like, oh, I saw that in the show. They liked it in the show. Oh, maybe I should try it. And I was like, wait, you don't like that nut? What are you doing? So, but that one tart looked so good for the season one, and then it died. Now I want sweets.
Sweet time.
Nom 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 nom.
But yeah, good series.
Mhm.
And that's gonna do it for us this week, I think. Unless you have anything else you want to say.
Nope.
Pee pee poo poo.
Exactly that.
There you go. So yeah, if you'd like more from us, head on over to seasonlanguagecheckup.com or sec.co, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Jared Now Watch. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Ann Ladium, go to annladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter and TikTok at Anime Checkup. Follow us on Blue Sky seasonlanguagecheckup.com. You can buy our books, One Shiny Moment, critical analysis of Sunshine, Hot Tubs, and Pac-Man on Amazon.com. And you can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/SACOVA. Buy us a slice of pizza, get access to unedited versions of the podcast early. Our monthly exclusive Patreon podcast. I got to figure out a movie to watch for us this month. So I'll have to do that at some point.
Yep, you will.
Yep. So we'll have a new episode of that out pretty soon. And you can also find a bunch of the other episodes of that and other bonus content on the site as well. Next week will be in August. Exactly. So we'll figure out what we're going to talk about to kick off August.